So thank you for watching. Welcome to my very thoughtful world. As always, you guys know I work very hard to bring you all female entrepreneurs that are doing the business because I want to encourage you and inspire you to start your own business or do the thing that's in your heart that God is calling you to do. So tonight I'm excited because I have on Miss Linda Prezioso. And she's going
Yes.
to tell us all about who she is in her business. So, Linda, first of all, thanks for coming on and tell everyone who you are.
Hi there. My name is Linda Prezioso. I'm a nurse practitioner. I own my own business, the Essential Health Medi Spa. I got involved in that because I work as a nurse practitioner in a family practice. And I grew weary of talking to women about menopausal symptoms, and I was unable to help them. I did not have enough tools in my toolbox to care for them properly. The established medical community, they shy away from menopause. They don't
Mm,
know how to treat it. The majority of OBs are men. They don't
yeah.
get it. They just want to give us an antidepressant to help alleviate some of those symptoms. Well, that might help with the moodiness or the irritability, but it's not going to help with the other physical symptoms that women go through menopause. So
I'm,
I
you know,
started doing,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm really glad that you started that topic because I think I'm in that stage.
Ah,
And so now I have all these questions because I recently saw a video on, I think, Facebook where they were saying if you're having the achy joints and the
yes,
kind of bloated stomach or the big stomach,
yes,
it all be part
yes,
of menopause. So talk about that.
yes.
Help us out.
All right. All right. So the symptoms for women for menopause are irritability, mood swings, hair loss, dry skin, low libido, vaginal dryness, joint aches. I mean, the list goes on, but those are the majority of them. Most women come to me because of the moodiness, irritability, the weight gain, and they just genuinely don't feel well. They don't feel like themselves. They know something's wrong. Their
Mhm.
doctor will run tests on them, and their labs are all within normal limits per the parameters of the lab they used, but they still don't feel well.
Yeah.
So I went on a journey to find out how to treat women in menopause. So I
Yeah.
have two different certifications for treatment. One is I can obtain a saliva sample for you, and it will pinpoint where you are, what Kanisha needs, not what Linda needs. It's not a one size fits all. It's
Okay.
specific for the woman who I'm treating. So we can
That's
either do a saliva test. I send that off to Oregon. We get the lab results back. And then I collaborate with Patrick Ignacio, who is this compounding pharmacist here in town. And he will make a cream for you. And that cream is applied to your body on your pulse points, behind your ears, on your wrists, behind your knees. You apply that twice a day, and that helps alleviate symptoms.
so it can help with
Nothing,
the joint pain and all that.
yes, that's one way of doing it. Then the other way is I do a blood draw. I send you to the lab, and they do serum labs, and I get that back. Again, it's specifically for Kanisha, not for Linda.
Yeah.
And we see what your testosterone is, what your progesterone is, what your estradiol is, what your thyroid is, because thyroid is a hormone, and a lot of us have a low functioning thyroid. So then that, and if you choose that way to go, I work with a company called BioT, and they make pellets. They're small, they're like little grains of rice, I make a small incision about a eighth of an inch on
Mm.
your backside, and I insert these pellets in you, and they last for 4 to 6 months. They are they're metabolized by your cardiac output. So if you're an avid runner, if you're a marathon person, your pellets aren't going to last as long as somebody who maybe just exercises a couple, 3 times a week.
Okay. So how do you determine which test for who?
I talk to the women and they kind of decide what they feel more comfortable with. Some women are, oh, I want those pellets and I want them today. Other women are like, oh no, you're not putting anything in my backside. So we just I have to go through the symptoms. I have to go through your particular ailments, what your complaints are. Um, the creams, they will help you maintain so you don't feel as bad as you used to. It does help. I'm not saying it doesn't help. The
Yeah.
pellets tend to optimize. They kick it up a notch, so to speak. So you
Wow.
tend to feel a little bit better. You have a little bit more energy. But it's an individual choice. And I chose to go both routes because nobody's the same, Kanisha. What's
Right.
good for me is not necessarily good for you.
Absolutely.
So, and then the cost is about the same. The difference is the cost for the pellets is upfront. You pay for it
Okay.
all in the first month or so. The creams are monthly. You go and see Patrick monthly. So it's it's a little bit of an upfront cost to see me and buy the kit. And then it's a monthly fee. You go and pick up your prescription like you would any other prescription you have.
Does any
Um,
insurance cover this?
no,
This is
all
considered like
cash.
alternative medicine.
Yeah, it's really considered alternative medicine.
Okay.
And I have a contract with the lab for the blood draws. So you get about 15 tests, which would cost you, if I ran your insurance, would cost probably $700. I don't know
Okay.
what your copay would be with those, but I charge a flat $100 for them because I get I have a contract with the lab itself.
Okay.
All the Both the pellets and the creams, the estrogen and testosterone is made out of soy and yams, so it's all natural.
Mm.
So you're not going to develop an allergy to it. You're not going to have some side effect like you do with regular medicines, with synthetic drugs. Some of the synthetic drugs, like Prempro, for instance, is made out of pregnant mare's urine. It's horse urine. Yeah. And we're going to put that in our body.
Wow.
I'm telling,
Who-
I don't know why. I'm just telling you.
Wow. Wow. Well, what I know now is that I'll be making an appointment with you very soon because I didn't realize, honestly and truly, until I saw this little preview on Facebook for some, of course, a medication. I didn't know that this joint pain that I'm having had anything to do with menopause.
Yes. Now, I mean, you could have joint pain from something else. I'm not going to
Right.
negate that. But I have had more than one person tell me that she could hardly get out of bed in the morning. She was so stiff and sore. It was hard for her to walk up and down her stairs at her home. And after she got the pellets, she was able to do all that without any of the pain and discomfort she had previously.
Wow. That is great. Yeah, because the thing I don't like about going to the doctor is you better be real clear about the one thing you want them to, you can have several aches and pains, and to me the whole body is working together. I would think they would
Right.
look at it in unit. No, if I say my right eye itch and then I mention my
Yeah,
left shoulder, it's like, which one do you want me to look at? Because I'm only going to look at
that's
one, and
right.
I don't think one has
That's right.
anything to do with the other. And they
Yeah,
immediately, it just drives me crazy that before they ask me anything about myself, they want to know who's the pharmacist, because you're already ready to write me a prescription when we
right,
don't even know
right,
what it is. So
right.
yeah. I'm thankful that you came on, and I had no idea this is where this conversation was going to go.
I will say for your aches and pains, Kanisha, you can also get turmeric. That's a natural, that's curcumin is part of turmeric, and it's a natural anti-inflammatory, and that does help with aches and pains as well.
Okay. I found this amazing lady here in Rocky Mount, Miss Vanessa. She's actually been on the podcast. She has a booth down at the flea market here in Rocky Mount, and she
Hmm.
does a tea. And Linda, I mean, I've taken 500 milligram pills, like over the counter Advil or whatever.
Right, right.
It does not relieve the pain. The moment I drank the tea, probably within 30 minutes, it just takes the ache off because
Yeah.
I have more back pain. It's really bad. And sometimes it gets so
Hmm.
intense, just the touch of like sitting in the chair. But her tea, and it's all natural, as you said, is the one thing that will let me sleep through the night and
Isn't it
relax.
great?
It's amazing.
God made the plants for us.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
made them for us so that he knew that we were going to have aches and pains. And that's why he had those herbs and spices and all that we could concoct and have a tea and feel better.
Yeah. So we need to learn to do more of that and to spend more time talking to you and other women who are doing this kind of work, particularly coming out of the medical field. Because when I hear you say, and that's where Miss Vanessa also came out of the medical field, but to
Hmm.
hear you guys
Hmm.
tell me, because you have the background, you've seen what's going on. So it's not like I can't trust what you're saying. You have
Right.
the education from the so-called, and which I struggle with the whole medical thing here. The doctors lately, they don't really talk to you, they talk at you. That's been my experience since I've been back.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
I've heard that before.
yeah, yeah. So how long have you been doing your the essentials
My
herbs?
essential health medicine, about three
Yes.
years, two and a
Okay.
half to 3 years.
Yeah.
So I've really seen good results. I have most all of my clients come back. They return after, their allotted time. And
Yeah.
so that tells me something's working.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to make sure that I link your information to this podcast. We'll make sure that everybody
Great.
who watches it can have contact to you because it just sounds like I said, I thought we was going to talk about you being a female entrepreneur, but now you're educating us on so much more.
Well,
And
I
I
am a female entrepreneur.
you are, but now you have me where I want to ask you all these questions about my aches and pains, which is not what you came for. But
I
we are
don't
just
mind talking about anything.
yeah, I am just so grateful. What about this? So you mentioned with menopause, I also hear them talk about the weight gain. And it seems like no matter
Yes.
what I do, um,
Yes.
I can't lose weight. Now I can't say that I've been very um strict with my dieting, but I imagine some of it has just been hard on me because historically I never had a problem losing weight.
Right.
And now I weigh more than I've ever worn. And I'm like, what is this? Why can't I get this weight off? And every time I try to lose 10 pounds, I gain 5. I'm like, what is
Well, it's part of menopause, and part of this we have to ask God why we're doing this. But
okay.
a lot of and we tend to all of our weight tends to go to our middle. It's not equally dispersed either. So we can look like ourselves every way but our belly. And that's just very frustrating to anybody, but especially women.
Yeah.
And there's it's part of the whole hormonal upheaval, the imbalance, for so long when you had steady amounts at the appropriate time in your cycle of estrogen or testosterone or whatever. um that's you were good. But now
Yeah.
that that's all been depleted or depleting, then the things that were happening before, they're all happening in our belly right now, and it's very, very frustrating. I,
Yes.
I will not say I will not say that this hormone treatment will make you lose weight, but I will say that you will have more energy, which will make you want to go out and walk more, go to the gym more. You'll feel better about yourself. You're going to want to grab the peach instead of the potato chip, those kind of things.
Well, I'm all for it. So I can't, yeah, I definitely would be booking some time with you. I, check my dollars since you said the insurance won't cover it, but I understand as a coach, I get that same question. Um, Now you said you started your business about 3 years ago. Talk to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
woman who may watch this, and you know how we do as women. We say things like, it's too late, I'm too old, I don't have enough money, there's no way I can start a business. Tell me about, like, what made you decide to start a business. Was it too hard? Did you struggle with those thoughts prior to getting started?
All right. Well, first of all, it's never too late because I'm pretty old, but I mean, I didn't even go back to nurse practitioner school till I was 59.
Awesome.
So, and I've been practicing 12 years, so you can do the math. Just don't say it out loud. So, so, God has us here for a purpose and a plan, and He has us here for a certain amount of time. And even though I'm certainly old enough to retire and certainly old enough to lounge and read a book, that's not me. That's not what I want to do. And I really believe, Kanisha, that God put me in this place to help women and to get women through this time because women are miserable.
Yes.
So even though I'm old, I've wanted to do this for years and years. I've wanted to be an entrepreneur. I really wanted to open up like like maybe a tea shop, an herb shop, something like that, something natural. But
Yeah.
God brought me down this path. So no, you're never too old, and don't ever squelch your dreams. God puts those in our mind, and I really think that the devil just says, "Oh, you're too old. Oh, you can't do that. You can't. Oh, no way. Look at the economy." I mean, I've heard all those thoughts in my mind. So,
Yeah.
to any woman out there that's thinking about doing something, whether it's knitting baby caps or, I don't know, making cabinets, I don't know, whatever God given talent you have, go for it. Just go for it. All you've
I
got to lose is your time.
Yeah, and you're gonna lose that anyway.
That's right. That's right. You're not going to hang on to that.
No, I'm so glad to hear you say that because that has been something that has been on my heart forever in my whole like coaching is wanting to help women get connected to their passion and make money doing it. And so many times
Right.
we think, well, that I can do that as a hobby, but I can't charge for that. I don't know why as women we think like that.
I we're our own worst enemies sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
And then if you've got a little bit of a poverty mentality, or you're only going to go shopping when things are on sale, you're not going to embrace the fullness of what God has for you because you might have to pay full price. I think there's
Wow.
a lot of us women like that. I don't know. That's what I think.
That's so good. You said that we will not embrace what God has for us because we might have to pay full price. And I want people to get like that in so many levels. And I always teach when I get an opportunity. Sometimes, people invite me out to teach about dreams and visions. And I tell people the dream is going to cost you something. It may cost you friends, it may cost you time, it may cost you money, but it's worth the price because it's
Right.
in you. And many people they have the dream. I know for years I had the dream, and it would keep me awake at night. I felt so dissatisfied in life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
every job felt like, oh, this is torture. And honestly, if I go too long without a client or without serving or going somewhere and speaking, I get that sadness again because these gifts feel like,
Right.
"Look, what are we doing? They got to be expressed. Come on, let's use them."
Right.
So I love that you said that. It may cost you full price, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
It's really worth
it's
it.
worth it.
Yeah.
That's right. Sometimes we got to fork out those extra dollars.
Yeah. But have you found and you don't have to like go along with this if you don't agree with it, but have you found that the money you had to put out initially, how quickly it came back to you, how unexpectedly it came back to you?
Yes, yes. I'm a big believer in God and a big believer in tithing, and you know we get we get it, God gives it to us.
Listen,
And
I've so you go ahead.
if you do something that makes you feel better and you're happy with it, then it isn't quite as much of an expense the next time because you realize how it made you feel. Whether it's going to one of your retreats, going to one of your
Yes.
classes, coming to see me, whatever the issue
Yes.
is that we need. We all need stuff. We all need things. We all need
Yeah.
encouragement and help with menopause and help with our emotions and those kind of things.
Yeah. And it's an investment. And we have to start realizing it's not that it's a fee or a cost, it's an investment. And it's us
Right.
investing in ourselves. And I've never seen
Right.
a time, honestly, I've never seen a time when it didn't pay off. The only time I've seen where it didn't pay off is if I don't show up or if my client doesn't show up. Meaning, like, if I've
Right.
had coaches where, like, maybe I'm like, I realize, okay, I didn't show up. I was in one coaching class and a friend was also in. And she said to me, she saw me, she says, "You're not showing up." And I was really glad to hear her say that. She's like, "What are you doing? You like you're holding back." And once she said it and I started
Mhm.
showing up, I mean, Linda, like doors just started being like swinging open for me.
Yes. Yes.
And so I know that when
Yes.
you show up and you give your full attention and your time and you pay the money. Sometimes I used to think, oh my God, I can't, that's really expensive. But I've never spent money on a coach or anything where I'm investing in myself where I didn't get it back like double
Right.
full or two.
Right.
And I got it like way
Right.
quicker than I thought I would.
Right.
So
Well,
when
and
I go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think as women, we put everybody in front of us. We're
Mhm.
mamas. The babies go in front of us. The husband goes in front of us. The coworker goes in front of us. We're caregivers. We want to take care of everybody. And then there's nothing left for us.
Yeah.
And we've got to put ourselves on that front burner.
I agree. I agree. So listen, if you guys have watched me, you don't believe me, now it's time for you to believe Miss Linda. We gotta put ourselves. It is just so important. And I always say this: we only get to do this life one time. There's no
That's right.
repeats. There's no coming back. I don't understand
Hmm.
what are we waiting for. And what I've learned about money, it comes and it goes.
Oh, yeah.
And I've also seen, the Bible says, and I always forget what it says. Never has the righteous been forsaken or something big for bread. What is that? I always
But
forget what.
the righteous have not been forsaken or begged for bread. I think that's what it
Right.
says.
Yeah, and so when I look closely at my life and at my family who are really believers, when you just kind of give it day to day. Today it may seem like you don't have, or today it may feel like, oh my God, what am I going to do next week? But it's the solution always comes,
Hmm.
and that's what
It
I've
does.
learned. Really, so that's why I know whatever your fee is, if I have it on that day, I'm going to pay for it that day because I'll have it.
Right.
You can't go
Right.
like, well, let me hold on to this because next week I might need it. I'm not in next week. I'm in today. And today I need these aches and
Right. And
pains.
you don't, right. And you don't know if you're going to have next week. We only
Exactly.
know what we've got right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's how I
Yeah.
see it now. Really and truly, I've learned that if I have it today, if it's in my bank account, in my wallet today, and I need it or even want it sometime, and if it's good, I get it today. And then,
Right.
the Bible says tomorrow will take care of itself. And that's not to say being
That's
frivolous, right? Because you're always saving here or investing there. I'm talking about a right now moment need. but it's probably a couple of $100 or, whatever it is. If I have it and I'm like, this is something that can benefit me, I just go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and do it. And I don't wrestle with, oh, well, Lord, what am I going to be like? Well, Lord, you know what's coming around the corner. So you'll
Mm-hmm.
provide again.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Yeah. Well, the one question I always like to ask my guests as we're coming close to the end of time is, what book would you recommend um, new entrepreneurs, or just any, like, what book has just made such an effect on you other than the Bible that you would recommend to someone to read?
Well, gosh, there's been so many, and I don't even really remember any titles off the top of my head. But I would encourage people, we've got small business centers at Nash Community College, at Edgecombe Community College,
Yes.
and there's groups throughout the city that will can help you with that as well. You and I belong to a couple of those ourselves, and um, you just need to have the dream, sit down with somebody. Tierra Norwood is a great resource. She
Amazing.
can really help you get. She helped me. She used to be at Nash Community College, and that's where I met her when she was running the small business center. And there's something called Launch Rocky Mount. That's a really good program if they still have it. I think they do. And that I learned a lot from that class. It teaches you how to how to start a business, how to get your tax ID, how to write a business plan. The basic essentials that we can tend to shy away from because we're scared or we
Yes.
don't know.
Yes.
So I would, and if they need some names, I've got plenty of names. You and I probably know several of the same people that are entrepreneurs, and they're young and energetic. And I'd be happy to give those names and give those phone numbers out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you so much for being a part and joining me tonight for my very thoughtful podcast. I am just always at awe when I get to hang out with smart women that are going pursuing their dreams.
Yeah.
And so
It's
thank you
fun,
so.
isn't it?
Yes, it's
Thank
fun,
you. I
it's scary, it's
appreciate it.
crazy, all of that. but
That's
but
right.
it's better.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Kanisha. It's so good to see you.
You as well. You as well.